Greed, the intense and selfish desire for something. All my life I desired one thing. It wasn't money or fame. It wasn't girls. It wasn't celebrity status. It wasn't any of those things. All I wanted was to be seen, but just by the people I loved. And it drove me insane. Every single day, I did what my parents wanted me to do. I was literally like a training dog. I just wanted my parents to recognize me and see me for the person I am. I respected them so much and I gave them so much credibility that I ended up losing all of it for myself. So I sacrificed my childhood, my time, my friends. I sacrificed everything just to be loved and appreciated. Sometimes during summer, I wouldn't go out with my friends. I'd sit in the house and study. And yet, I would still feel empty. Now, this isn't what you would normally think of when you hear greed. Oftentimes, when you hear greed, you think of money, status, addictions, something that we would want to do anything for. What's something in your life that you've manifested into greed? You can have a sudden greed to just doom scroll, to sit down on your bed and just get on TikTok and scroll all day. That is literally greed. You want the dopamine and that's all you can think of. Sometimes we overlook these things because they aren't necessarily verbatim. We don't necessarily see that TikTok or social media or validation can be a form of greed, but it absolutely can. And that's a conversation you have to have with God. I really did have a strong desire to feel appreciated by the ones I called my family. I did everything and anything I possibly could, and it still wasn't enough. Whatever they wanted me to do, I did it with absolute precision. I went to the college they wanted me to go to, the high school. I took all of the classes they wanted me to take. I wore all of the clothes they wanted me to wear for as long as possible until I found my own style. I did everything I possibly could for them every single time. And in my early ages, I thought I was just being a good kid. I thought I was just respecting my parents, in which most of us would agree that's what being a good kid is respecting your parents. But as I started to grow older, I realized I'm continuing the cycle I've inhabited since I was a child. 16, 17, 15 years old. My parents are pushing onto me a job I didn't even want for myself. I let my parents choose my own dreams, my own future job, my own vacation status, my own major, everything you could possibly think of. I gave it all to my parents just so that I could hear the words, "I love you and I'm proud of you." But I never heard those words. Not once. Every single day, I strived to be the best person I possibly could for my parents. I did everything in my absolute power. I had an intense submission and dedication all to my parents. I had no idea what I wanted in my life. There's one night where I was playing Among Us. This was around quarantine, end of quarantine. And I just sat down with myself. I was researching doctoral jobs and what I wanted to be. But it wasn't what I wanted. When I sat down and asked myself, what does hybrid want? My mind drew a blank. I had no idea. You're telling me I have to wake up. I have to choose to go to school. I have to choose to do all of these things. And it's not my own life, but someone else living through me. I was being controlled like a puppet. And I don't want this to be a savvy story, but this is true. When you don't have any dreams or aspirations for yourself, someone else will come right by and fill you up with everything they have had for themselves. That's why projection is such a huge problem in this generation. Oftentimes, if we aren't solid and on a firm foundation in our thoughts and resolve, someone else can come right by and make their ideas our lifestyle. I'm 20 now, and I can finally say that I'm tired of it. I'm tired of following the script everyone else wanted me to have. I am ready to be myself. I'm ready to figure out who I am meant to be. But these issues growing up destroyed me every single day. If I'm not focused, and if I don't envision my own future, I will let my parents become my own spokesperson again. You're telling me you're on episode 1 and you still haven't subscribed? All right, I'll keep it short. Let's get back to the video. I had no identity. I could never think for myself. I never had any dreams. And the one dream I had of playing soccer, it was shot down. They didn't want me to do that. And what happened right after that, fell out of love for soccer. I tried chasing my dreams and learning to stop chasing after the validation of others. And it finally started to work. I was so dedicated to doing what my parents wanted me to do that I would have gave up everything and anything into my life just for them to look at me and say they were proud of me. I wanted my dad to feel so much compassion and pride for me that he wouldn't have anything else to say. I wanted to feel important. I wanted to fill the self-worth gap within myself by doing whatever it takes to be seen and appreciated.